So what is going on, everyone? This is Fabi here, and today I'm going to talk about something pretty interesting. But first of all, I wanted to touch on the gameplay, because I actually cut out some of the parts of the game. It's actually just the last minute because I felt like it was super boring, and I also fast forwarded some of the parts of this game because I didn't want you guys to be looking at the screen and being like, why the hell you ain't getting no kills, Fabi? So that's the reason why some of the parts of this game were quite boring, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, Aftermath is in fact a pretty slow map, go figure, and you do have to look out for people because they just tend to camp in their spawns, being little bitches, not moving around, so that's the reason. But going over to the topics we're going to talk about, those are going to be gaming sequels or game sequels, and the 1 year release cycle. The Call of Duty tends to stick to them, kind of sick of nowadays, and so I'm going to talk about them pretty much at the same time because they are sort of the one, they're pretty much the same topic, just expressed differently. But I want to make a statement first, and I want to say that nowadays there are so many more sequels released than there used to be in the past. And there are so few games that are originals, there are new games being released nowadays. And I feel like it's a sad world to live in, especially for gamers, because, you know, sequels work out nicely. I mean, usually the first game is pretty nice, gamers get pumped, then the second one, they sort of revamp the whole thing, they take in recommendations or ideas and thoughts from the community and they make it better. Then the third one, they probably polish some things, but then going forward, they don't really do much. And I mean, from a business standpoint, don't get me wrong, it's the right idea. I mean, it's the quick buck. Whenever you have a gaming sequel, or not even sequel, a gaming, what is it called? Come on, when you have a game that is a series, you can just milk it even further. You can just milk the shit out of it every year, just like Activision does with Call of Duty. They pretty much have to do a Call of Duty each and every year, and they just can make so much money off of it. And looking at Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 and Black Ops 2, you can see some difference, but it is not a huge difference. It's, let's just say that most of it is the same. They have done a few things to improve it here and there, but it's basically the same. And the reason why is because with a yearly release cycle, you can do much to the game to make it feel fresh each and every year. I mean, you can build, or you can model, and you can build some new maps, some new games, not some new games, some new guns, some new attachments, maybe some new kill streaks. But then the grand scheme of things, is going to be the same game. And I mean, we've seen that with Call of Duty ever since Call of Duty 4. And I feel like it would be so much better if they would just make, let's say, Call of Duty 4, then it release like 4 or 5 DLCs for it, and then 2 or 3 years later come out with the new game that is completely new, or that just breaks the ground with new features and new design philosophies and stuff like that. And I feel like Battlefield and GTA sort of takes that route, and they just release a new game every 2 or 3 years. I mean, Rockstar has done that, and that is great, especially because you pretty much get a new experience every time a new game is being released. Whereas with Call of Duty, you pretty much get the same crap. And again, from a business standpoint, it's kind of better because your game is always, you know, being released each and every year, and people talk about it all the time. You see that with Call of Duty, whereas with GTA and stuff like that, people talk about it every 3 years or so, and so people sort of tend to forget about your game if you just leave it out there and don't make any more DLCs for it. But again, you know, just release DLCs that include more maps, more stuff like that, and people will still be excited about your game, and that's sort of the way to do it. And I mean, you know, again, there's always stuff that is different to the formula, and I've pointed out some examples. For example, GTA and Battlefield, they handle the sequel philosophy in a good way. They have mastered it, and while they don't make the most money off of it because they only release a game every 3 years or so, they don't bore the shit out of gamers. Because with Call of Duty, I mean, we've had 9 Call of Duty since Call of Duty 1, which was released in like 2002. 9 games. That is a huge amount of games, and there are increasingly more people that are getting bored with the game each and every year. You see that on YouTube, on social sites. people get bored with the game, and that's not necessarily what happens with games like, let's say, Battlefield or GTA, because gamers actually look forward to those games because there's not a new game each and every year, and they take the time and they improve the game, they build on the game, and they make sure that the game is the best they can ship, which is something Call of Duty doesn't really focus on. I mean, they just focus on getting a new game out, you know, then forgetting about it, then just focusing on the new one, and then, you know, forgetting about the new one again, and then just focusing on even the next one. And I don't think this is gonna work anymore, and I just want the gaming companies to sort of have this rule that they are not allowed to produce more than 3 what are they called? 3 sequels a game. I mean, 3 to me is enough. I mean, there are exceptions to each and every rule, but most games should not go further than having 3 sequels. I mean, looking at Just Cause, let's take Just Cause as an example. Just Cause 1 was quite crappy. It had pretty bad graphics. It wasn't that good. But Just Cause 2 was so awesome. They took so much, so many ideas from the community, and they improved on it so much. And there's rumors that Just Cause 3 is gonna come out, and that's great, because it's gonna be probably even better. But then I feel like if they're going to release Just Cause 4, Just Cause 5, it's probably gonna be the same shit, maybe with a few things added, but essentially the same thing. And so I don't want gaming companies to just stick with a few series. I want them to, you know, implement, or not implement, I want them to go even further and think about new things, new ideas, implement, or think about new games and stuff like that. But anyways, guys, if you like this video, make sure to give a like, share with your friends on Facebook and on Twitter, subscribe to my channel if you're new around here, and make sure to be awesome and have a nice day.